All right, everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome back to Ron episode 4. I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about tech news as well as personal vlogs. So I ain't gonna bore you too long. Let's go. Let's get it. NVIDIA launching new 4060 Ti's 16 gigabytes in July, and the regular 4060 on June 29th. Is this GPU worth it by NVIDIA? Yes, it is. After watching perfect benchmarks of this GPU, even though it is PCIe 4.0 X8, yes, right, have the interface, bus interface, I think this GPU is pretty decent for gaming and as well as productivity. It's not set on a high power point like the 4080 Ti and the 4090, the beast monster, the queen of the overclocking and the queen of power hungry, but these low budget, low power GPUs are perfect to use, and you cannot go wrong with it. Let's go ahead and get into the slides right quick. From video cards, yes, as you see right here, the GeForce RTX 4060 is due to launch June 29th. The rumors are true and it's set ready to go. This card was supposed to be launched the same time as the 4060 Ti low version of the 8 gigabyte on May 24th, but they said let's go ahead and get this out the way first, like NVIDIA always do. Release the mid-level card, the middle card, and come up with the last two cards, the low end and the high end. The low end one will be launched June 29th. You got your CUDA cores at 3072, boost clock is 2.4 gigahertz, memory as always 8 gigabyte, memory clock is 17 gigabit per second, bus is 128 bits, memory bandwidth is 272 gigabyte per second, and your total design power of this GPU is 115 watts. So yes, a low powered GPU that don't need nothing, just play your games average and etc. Now it do comes with all that good features such as DLSS, but my thing is on that if you need to use that to enhance your game performance and get more frames per second, then as my opinion, they're just a crappy graphic card. If you need enhancements to use just to play your video games, then you are come up with crap. But if you're not using DLSS, which I don't use it and I don't give a rat's ass about it, this GPU is pretty good. Now, as you all notice, one thing the manufacturers such as Gigabyte, MSI, and Asus, they're not letting y'all know that it is PCIe Gen 4 X8, as you see all of them right there. So with that said, is that they want y'all to buy it, but they don't want y'all to know as half the interface lanes, which X8 is not that bad, you know, after seeing the performance tests from Brian from Yes Tech City and Nadia from Tech Testers. It's pretty decent. But this is the thing that I want gamers and game enthusiasts to understand. When you buy this low-end RTX 4060, I'll get to the specs from TechPower. Yes, when you buy this at NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060, you guys to understand, and this is one reason why a lot of y'all don't pay attention to details. See, me, when I do have research a GPU, CPU, etc., I do my homework first before I start putting together a price list, and I go out there and I go buy the product for myself, for my own personal use. So, recommended game resolution is at 1920 at 1080p. This graphic card is set only at 1080p gaming. Why 1080p? Because 90% of us still play our games at 1080p. 90% of us did not upgrade to these high-end refresh rate monitors. 1440p, 2K, 4K. No, like me personally, I am on 60 hertz, and that works good for me as a gamer and etc. PC use that I use on a regular level with my PCs. Now at 1440p it's playable, and at 2160 it's low FPS. So when you go out and buy these cards, understand your homework. And on the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060, as you know, bus interface is PCIe 4.0 X8. You got your memory size. Memory type is GDDR6. We all know that. Memory bus is 128-bit. Bandwidth is 272 gigabits per second. And you got your OpenCL 3.0, OpenGL 4.6, CUDAs 8.9, shaders 6.7. But keep in mind that the suggested PSU is 300 watts. So yes, 300 watts could get you by with this GPU. If you own a 400 watt GPU or higher, then you are good to go. My recommended power supply will be no more than 700 to 750, so you're pretty decent with that if you own a 300 watt or higher PSU. So yes, you don't really need that much power to power this PSU. And on the RTX 4060 Ti, which is GPU AD106-351, Architect Ada TSMC 4N, board SKU is PG190 SKU 363. You got your CUDA cores 43052 on the RTX 4060 Ti, 16 gigabyte. Boost clock is 2.5, which they all set at 2.5. The 8 gigabyte 4060 Ti as well as the 16 gigabyte 4060 Ti. The 4060 regular boost clock is at 2.4. Memory is at 16 gigabyte. Memory clock is at 18 gigabyte per second. Memory bus, which is 128. Some of y'all gamers and game enthusiasts are very mad about that. But for me, 128 is the sweet spot for the memory bus. It don't matter. If it could be 256 or 3 something, it don't matter. 128 is the sweet spot. Anything lower than 128 for a new GPU, then you have to start questioning it. Memory bandwidth is 288 gigabyte per second, as well as your TDP is at 160 watts, and it's on PCIe Gen 4 X8. MSRP due to launch in July sometime. I think it's going to be launched towards the end of July or the third week of July. Is July 2023, so that's called will come out in July. But the specs on that there, like I always say, always do your homework when buying GPUs. Here, it is playable at 1920 at 1080, as well as 225/60 at 1440. Yes, you get the green light for both resolutions. A lot of us are on 1440 monitors, and some of us still are on 1080p monitor. So yes, the 16 gigabyte is playable on both ends. Now, if you have a higher monitor, a 4K monitor, which 90% of gamers are still stuck at 1080p, and about 10 to 20% are upgradable. So they are upgraded their monitors and etc. to a better performance in their gameplay. And if you are on a 4K monitor, 2160, it is playable. So certain times you may get good, decent frame per seconds, and certain times you may get low FPS. So gamers and game enthusiasts, keep that in mind if you go out and get the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte, which is due to launch in July sometime the third week or the end of July. I will keep y'all posted when them GPUs come out, as well as the regular low end one and the 16 gigabyte one. So with that said, on that there, is it a good GPU? Yes, I think it's a great GPU, and you can't go wrong with it. The thing is the pricing of it is a little steep, especially for the RTX 4060, $299. It's pretty decent, but I would have dropped it down to at least $259 or $269. But you know, I'm not the marketing team of NVIDIA, so. But yeah, it's pretty steep. Now keep in mind, if we get these cards for different manufacturers, they're gonna be a little pricey, so y'all keep that in mind. And if you don't mind the pricing, then you got a good, nice budget, low end, low powered GPU that will perform certain of your titles decent. Just like, and I kind of agree, the direction they go on here is that you don't need a high-powered GPU just to enjoy games that you like to play. You may play 1 or 2 titles, or you may have 20 games in your library or more, and you only play 4 titles a day. You know, it could be Call of Duty, it could be Apex Legends, Fortnite, Valorant. Like me, if I have the 4060 low-end one that's coming on June 29th, I'll probably be using it for Gems of War, all my retro games such as Centipede, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Pac-Man, Street Fighter. Yeah, games that I used to play when I was a little kid back in the 80s. So yeah, and those titles that we still enjoy in 2023. So this is a good GPU. Now Brian from Yes Tech City and Nadia from Tech Testers did some testing with these cards, and I will be putting those benchmarks in the video description so y'all could go ahead and watch them and enjoy them. Moving right along. AMD AI ideas are to launch new Pro Series CPUs for the AM5 lineup. Yes, the AMD 7000 Pro CPUs are coming soon. Some tech enthusiasts, PC gamers, as well as tech enthusiasts, have some of these already in laptop form. Some of them are waiting on the new CPUs to come out for the Pro Series sometimes this year. They haven't set a specific date for the desktop CPU, but the laptops such as RYZEN and etc. are launching. So some of them have them, so sent that to them for testing. Some of them don't have them yet. But let's get into the info of that there. And yes, AMD is refreshing the Ryzen Pro series in less than a year since the 5000 Pro series was released. And here are the Ryzen Pro's 740 series. Yes, featuring Ryzen AI on selected models. The only selected models that might have the artificial intelligence will probably be the Ryzen 9 Pros, the 7940HS, and as you know, your 7840Us are for your laptops. The 7840Us are out. Some of them have them. I have seen them. Some of them test them in the RYZEN products as well. If I could find that information, I'll be putting the buy link in the description below so y'all can check it out, review the specs, and if the Pro Series is pretty decent for you, then go ahead on and jump on it. Now, as I always, one thing that really disappoints me with AMD and Intel is that y'all got to jump the 6 cores and 12 threads. I think the Ryzen 5 Pro 7640HS could have used 8 cores and 16 threads. That's just my opinion. You know, if I was a CPU developer, I would just increase my thread counts on new CPUs every time a new CPU come out. So instead of keep releasing the same cores, the same threads, I would have made the Ryzen 5 8 cores, 12 threads on this particular model here for the AM5 lineup, as well as your Ryzen 7 Pro. If I was a CPU developer, I would increase the core count, but on the Ryzen 7 Pro 7848HS, it is 8 cores, 16 thread. But this is one reason why Intel and AMD, y'all need to refresh your core counts every time you have a new CPU lineup come out. So that is pretty decent to know. And on the thermal design power, it is 65 watts. And one thing about AMD is that they are listening to us PC users. You do not need all that damn power to run your applications. 65 watts to 120 watts is the best limit for a CPU. Anything higher than that, to my perspective, is insane, which don't make no sense to me, but to others it makes sense to them. But just like I said, you do not need all that power just to run your applications and get work done on a 3D rendering world as well as a gaming world. So the new CPU soon to be launched out comes with the RaySpire AM5 on the Ryzen 9 7945. Your boost is at 5.1. The Ryzen 7 Pro 7745 boost is 5.3, as well as the Ryzen 5 7645 Pro. Your boost is up to 5.1. They are on Zen 4 cores, PCIe 5 all over with DDR5 cranking out. And the good thing about it, if you don't want to buy a GPU, you could go ahead and use the Radeon graphics APU already built into the CPU itself. NOID is 5 nanometers, L2, L3 cache is 76 megabytes on the Ryzen 9, 40 megabytes on the Ryzen 7, and 38 megabytes on the Ryzen 5. You get AM5 2025 plus support, PCIe 5.0 GPU and SSDs. Soon, hopefully in 3 years from now, we'll see a PCIe 5.0 X16 GPU hit the market. But right now, we still using PCIe 4.0. So I don't know when those GPUs are coming out, but hopefully in 3 to 4 years from now, you'll probably see our first PCIe 5.0 GPU. And as you already know, it's on the DDR5. So yes, that's good for certain gamers and game enthusiasts. Alrighty, moving right along to my last slide. I'm going to continue doing price lists for new PC budget builders. In a way, I'm kind of like straying off of it because when I started doing the prices from 2020 all the way to 2023, I pretty much covered about damn near every socket that is out right now. From the LGA 1200 to the 1700, and soon when the Meteor Lake comes out, I'll be doing a price list on that. Perspective on a gamer's point of view and a non-gamer point of view. The non-gamer point of view is just with the air cooler. The gamer point of view will be used with the AIO and massive RGB interface inside. The new RGB fans from Thermaltake, etc., that we put in. But just keep in mind, those RGB fans are expensive. Yes, so the more you spend, the more money you would kick out your pocket. So just keep that in mind. But no, I will not be doing any more prices because I have covered every socket that are out. When the new LGA 1851 motherboards come out for the Meteor Lakes, and pretty much I uncovered the AM5, Ryzen 9, Ryzen 7, and Ryzen 5. So no, I will not be doing any more PC price lists for those particular AM5 motherboards. Now, when the new Meteor Lake motherboard come out, I will give you a price point of what you are spending, and on a consumer level, you have to decide is that price is good enough for you. If it is, click on the links, purchase the parts, or go to your Micro Center. And yes, to let everybody know, in Miami, we will be having a Micro Center coming our way soon. Yes, we are having a Micro Center in Miami coming our way soon. And I'm happy for that. So we don't have to get our parts from Amazon no more. So we can just run to our local Micro Center, which I think is going to be somewhere out there by Mall of America or somewhere in between Dolphin Mall somewhere. It will be into that location area. But we are getting a Micro Center soon, so we'll have to go ahead on and hunt down PC parts on Amazon or Newegg. We can just go right to our Micro Center, get good deals, and just walk out happy, spending less money. But on the PC price list, my last price list will be when the new LGA 1851 motherboards come out on the Meteor Lake CPUs. They thinking about doing a refresh for the LGA 1700s, or they thinking about coming up with a whole entire new socket. Yes, and the Media Lake CPUs are big. If you missed that there, I'll be putting that episode 3 in the description below. And I'll go ahead and pull up all the information on the LGA 1851 sockets with the Media Lake that's soon to come out. And that covers everything in Round episode 4. I'm glad y'all liked it. If you liked it, hit the like button. Episode 5 is on its way. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.